What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled Generational Pride. Can you say you're making the generation before you or the generations before you, can they say they're proud of you? Is that important to you? And this is a serious question because, you know, families sometimes fall apart when the elders die, but sometimes the elders are alive to see how far the whole family has come over a period of time. And sometimes we don't take into consideration that they can see where we started to where we're at. And I don't think some of us are taking consideration to the fact that we should be doing something to make them proud. You know, I got family who used to, be in sugarcane fields. To where some of our family is now, from where we started, from what they remember, is, phenomenal. I've had family who've owned massive amount of land, and the land got stolen, and the family we got ran out of town, and they tried to kill us to get the land, and that happened. And we went from owning a lot of land to living in the projects. And to look at where we collectively as a family are now, when, and I mean this, like my great-grandmother was living in the projects, because of Jim Crow. Even though she had acres and acres of land and cattle and oil, in Louisiana. But when people want to kill you in Jim Crow when you black, and the patriarch dies, they had to go into hiding. Had other family members who got ran out of the city too. That's how I wound up being born in New Orleans, because the family migrated to New Orleans because people got ran out of the hometown, that hometown basically. But I remember having family members who was like, I got an older cousin. He was the first to graduate college, and I was the second. And my grandparents, that was big to them, because my grandfather, he dropped out like in the 5th grade or something like that to take care of the family. And he wound up being a Korean War vet. And same thing, grandmother, he met her after he came back, basically. And this is kind of the family we come from on one side. The other side, my great-granddad, I never met him because he died of cancer when my grandmother was, like 9? So I knew one great-grandmothers, they both lived a very long time. So I met both of them, but not my great-grandfathers, not them. But to go from that, and a great-grandmother having kids, her husband dies, and she's taking care of the kids. The kids grow up to be adults. They have kids, so on and so forth. And I was born for teenage parents back in the days when, you kicked the mother got kicked out of high school because she was pregnant. They didn't play that. to, looking at the family and the things that people, the heights that some people have achieved that's high, and there's some that didn't do so well. But remembering, um, one of my best friends, one of my best friends was my grandmother. Actually, both of them, but I was too young with my mother's mother. And I remember, my mother's mother, she was proud that my older cousin had graduated college because it was a culmination of seeing, my granddad go off to war, come back shell shocked, still be together, but get it together for the family, take care of the family. And the kids went to school, but they didn't really make it. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't have to back in the day per se, in that time. So you could go to the military, or you know, you could work a good job and take care of your family, that type of thing. But they always wanted their kids to be educated and to see their grandkids do it. That was something that was monumental for them, and to see them do it and be successful, that was generational pride. And then to see, you know, own homes and do things to take care of the family and give back to the family. I remember my grandmother gave my older cousin, my great grandmother, the one that wound up in the projects, gave my older cousin his first car. It was a 19. It was an Impala. It was like a 70 Impala, something like that. Because it was like a box Chevy at the time. But for him to go on, become rich enough to buy a house that my grandmother could be taken care of in her last days, because me and him actually stayed with my grandmother in my granddad's house. And he graduated college and did enough to take care of my grandmother in her later days was epic. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. I came back into town. I came back home, and I didn't know it, because I went out of town, and I came back to Texas, and I saw it on the news. Broke my heart, even though I was born there, but I grew up there and in Chicago and a little bit in the DMV. But home is home, right? But for me to be in a position to take care of my grandmother when she lost her house, that made her proud to say that, you went from being homeless to being able to be there for and give me a place to stay when I need it. And she was proud of that, and that made me proud too. So I'm talking about like generational pride, where I've fallen out with family members over the years, but I've still opened my doors up to some of those family members. We still have fallen outs even in that, but to have the family understand that we came a long way. And the reason I say that is because some of us don't realize. I've seen people not take the family name and the family history as seriously as they should, and not respect the struggle of the family across generations. And this is why one of the reasons why you got to teach the kids your family history, because you got to teach them that, hey, you might think we got it good, but we didn't come from where we were at. That was the thing. I took my son back to New Orleans. Eventually, I'm gonna take him to Chicago, because he needs to see that. I took him to Chicago, but he was too young. But to see where I actually grew up, but we, a lot of us seem to forget where we come from, and it is disheartening, because when we forget where we come from, we forget the proud, the people in our families that we're standing on their shoulders. And you don't take it lightly that you don't disrespect the people's shoulders that you're standing on. And I guess some of the family members really ruined the legacy, because I got other family members that just, we had businesses and they just wanted to cash out and screwed everything up. But that's different than the people who actually put in the hard work to keep the family going and strong, and they made a lot of sacrifices. So to a degree, you have to have generational pride, and you have to act on it. And hopefully, the people that you really been riding for in your family, hopefully they're proud of you when you get older. And you can build on that part of the legacy. So I'm done. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.